everybody, this is Johnpreneur Ellis here, doing a video for the first time in probably about a year. And I got to thinking, we really only do the things that we say we're going to do, but not just because we say driving down the highway, you know, someday I'd really like to be X, or I'd like to do X. No, the things that we actually do, and I'm not just talking about going to the bathroom or brushing your teeth or your everyday routine, I'm talking about the things that you strive for, that you really want to do, where you say, someday I'm going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro or have $1 billion company. Whatever the case may be, someday I'm going to X. Whatever that thing is for you, fill in the blank. And of course, this is common around New Year's Eve, right? For the first month or so, everyone's losing weight, right? Or at least trying to, or saying they're going to. Myself guilty from time to time of having said, I'm going to do X, and then, you know what? Lo and behold, it just doesn't happen, or I don't have the kind of success that I was hoping for. So I just got to thinking, you know what? That's just like YouTube. I actually know a friend of mine who his channel has over 3 million views now, and it's about drums, and he's just really, really good at what he does. A buddy of mine from the military that I want to get to know him better, and you know what? Honestly, it's because his YouTube channel has become awesome. He's done something that I really strive to do. You know, when I first launched this YouTube channel, it was probably about 5 years ago. And you know what? I never thought, let me use this thing to make some cash, or let me use this thing to help some people. You know what? Quite honestly, I didn't know what I was doing when I started the channel. And I'm going to figure it out as I go. But one thing that I've noticed is that the people who have successful channels on YouTube, they have a topic, or they have an identity, they have a reason for people to want to come back. They're offering something of value for the most part. Of course, we all know there's things on YouTube that aren't very valuable. Enter unboxing, kids' toys, etc. But I digress. But what I want to talk about actually is literally the relaunch of my YouTube channel, but better yet, that doesn't really matter, honestly, so X that. What we're going to talk about instead is something that you can actually use, something that's practical. And I thought, why not just map it out for myself and bring you in on the journey, and hopefully you can join me. So I want this to be a success this time around. I want to expand my identity in the world as a man, John Ellis. Who am I, right? I live in York, but obviously the world is a much bigger place than just that, than York, Pennsylvania. It's an international phenomenon, right? The globe is now this interconnected web of people who, with the click of a button, are connected within a nanosecond or two. So how can I make myself valuable and available to the world? Well, I've got the internet, so all I need to do now is offer something of value. So that's what's going to happen in these videos from here on out. Sometimes you'll be getting a reflection about myself or something I'm going through, and I'm planning, by the way, full disclosure, to use this channel as a way to just be myself, but hopefully bring you into the journey of me. I've tried writing things down, writing down the way that I feel, journaling. I'll probably still continue to do that, but you know, I think when I think and process things the best, I'm doing it literally like this. I'm thinking out loud to myself in the bathroom, and my wife's in the kitchen doing dishes and thinking, my husband is crazy, he talks to himself. By now, she knows better. Well, she may say I'm crazy, but shh, don't tell anybody else she's right. But what I'm crazy for most is success and not giving up. So even though this YouTube channel has been almost a complete failure since I launched it 8 years ago, you know why? I haven't used it. I haven't put content on here. So not to make this too long, we're going to jump right into topic of the day, which is, it's titled 5 Steps to Getting It Right. And by the way, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and click on subscribe and come back next time. And check out the blog as well at johnpreneur.com. I'm going to post a couple bullet points to the topic of today, which is, by the way, it's goal setting. I have a goal for this YouTube channel to grow it and expand it. And by the way, I don't know exactly what that means. I'm going to be writing my own goal statement, which we'll talk about here. But let's dive into it. Let's just jump in. This is titled 5 Steps to Getting It Right. Okay, so the first step when you're setting a goal, right? You need to determine your target, decide what you want, okay? Decide what you're willing to give up or overcome in order to get what it is you're shooting for. So let's use what everyone's familiar with. We talked about New Year's, right? I want to shed 10 pounds. You know why nobody does it, or very few do it, between January 1st and the 31st or the end of January? Well, they don't have a plan of action for what is going to get them there. And most of them, by the way, they don't know what exactly is driving them. And they didn't decide what they were going to give up or overcome. They might have thought to themselves, I'm not going to eat like I did between November and December. But then they didn't set up a plan of action. So first, we need to decide what motivates us and base it off of, I have found, what's irritating the crap out of me, right? What's irritating me, and what am I desiring so much to change that it just gets a hold of me, right? One of those things for me, by the way, is losing, ironically enough, losing some weight and becoming the runner that I once was. So you can hold me accountable to that. But what's motivating you? Why do I want to lose some weight? By the way, that's not really the goal at hand here. It's just a sidebar, if you will. We talked about growing this YouTube channel as my big goal, which I'm going to flesh out in the post in my blog. But I'm going to set some goals around that. So, more importantly though, what are you willing to give up or overcome to get your goal? Because to reach a goal, you're going to inherently have to sacrifice something. If the goal is weight loss, you're going to have to sacrifice time with another activity in order to exercise. You're going to have to sacrifice one type of food and substitute it with another. In my case, with this YouTube channel, I'm going to cut out some dead time. Thanks to the newest iPhone platform or whatever, I can see, you know what? Wow, I spend a lot more time than I thought scrolling through social media. It can be very productive, but it can also be a real drain. And you know what? I want to find a healthy balance and a rhythm there and schedule in some time in my morning and in my evening for social media, probably a little time over lunch, but I'm going to dedicate some productivity in there with it. I'm going to have a purpose for getting on there. Get in touch with 3 people, contribute 3 comments, etc. Post something fun or entertaining. You get the idea. Have a purpose. But in terms of this YouTube channel, I need to set a SMART goal. And what's a SMART goal? You may be familiar with this. It's a goal that follows that acronym of SMART. It's specific, right? You state exactly what you want and why. And that's why, by the way, I'm going to figure out what I want. And actually, I'm going to start realistically with my YouTube channel. I'm thinking I'm going to start with the goal to have 1,000 views and 20 subscribers. And that's like nothing in YouTube land. But for me, it's kind of scary to even say that because I don't even know how to get there. But I'm going to find out, and I hope you'll stick around and join me in the journey and do that. Become a subscriber so that you can follow me on this journey and watch as these videos improve, as surely they will. But set a SMART goal. Be specific. So for me, right, 1,000 views, 50 subscribers. That's my goal right now, is to do that. So right there, I put a number in. It's measurable. So it's specific, measurable. So now I have a barometer. Have I gotten this number of views? Have I gotten this number of subscribers? How far away am I, and what can I adjust in order to get there? And you know what? I started low with this goal, right? To me, it seems like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, but it really is probably pretty attainable. It's a YouTube channel. There's lots of people who have done far more than the goal I've set for myself. So I believe it's attainable and that I can do it in a few months, maybe even sooner. And for me also, this is relevant with many of the goals that I have in life, personally and professionally. It requires me, and those goals require me to be a person of what we call influence. And that's because I have a passion for the art and study of leadership, which, by the way, we are all leaders of some sort, no matter who we are or where we come from. We're leading someone or something, up to and including ourselves. So we got to lead wisely, and we must influence wisely. And I'm hoping to use this channel as a way to unpack some of that influence. So, specific, measurable, attainable, more importantly, relevant. Goals that are relevant can be applied in your life in a way that's going to have the impact that you're seeking. So for me, this is a relevant goal because I want to use this channel to influence around areas that I care about: faith, family, business. And I believe I'll be able to do that with the channels I'm setting up as these topics become a little more broad, and make it happen. So that's how it's relevant to me. Is this going to allow me to be more influential? Just this first video alone is already a step in that direction, even if no one watches it, which I know many will. So, boom, already ahead of the game. And then also time bound. And by the way, this is the one that's got me shaking in my boots a little bit, because, boy, to make it time bound means I've got to give you all a day and commit to making it happen by then. I'm figuring I can do one of these videos a day if I'm really committed. They're not all going to be this long, by the way, as I fine-tune them. They'll probably be about 10 minutes, no more, and we'll unpack them in that amount of time, the topic and etc. But they're going to be just bite-sized things you can watch and apply in your life. So time-bound for me, just sitting here doing this, I'm going to have to go within the next 30 days. I will have those 50 subscribers, and the way to do that is to do this every day, consistent, and apply it bit by bit and share it bit by bit. So again, I hope you hit subscribe and join me, and please, by the way, introduce yourself, drop a comment, and let me know how you found this beneficial, and maybe even what your goals are, and let's cross the finish line together. So, specific, measurable, attainable, sustainable, relevant, right? And time-bound. A deadline that you're going to make it happen by. One thing that's definitely helpful for doing that, right, how to measure up those SMART goals, if you will, is with a goal statement. We don't have time to get into that right now, but we've got Google for that. So go ahead and Google goal statement hacks or tips and tricks. But one thing I will say is a couple just quick bullets, and we'll unpack it further in another vlog. But what is a goal statement? It's just basically you putting in writing what it is that you want to accomplish. And the steps involved, not too detailed, maybe about 3, 4, I'd say probably about enough to cover one 3x5 card, the front of it. A goal statement is something that is future oriented, so that time bound thing, I'll do X by June 1st. Your goal statement would start out like this: it's June 1st and X. Very positively, I feel great. I'm now 20 pounds lighter than I was in January, and I run at least 3 times per week, etc. Yeah, I think you get the idea. You want to affirm the positive as if it's already happened and read that out loud 2 times per day. Usually it's best to do it in the morning when you first wake up and before you go to bed at night. And you will find that it actually really does start to happen. Another idea that you can try is a dream board. Again, no time to cover it here. Just go ahead, drop it into Google Dream Board ideas. Maybe find some stuff on Pinterest. Again, I love it if you share with me how you're putting some of this into practice. Maybe a picture of your dream board, as I'll share with you. So putting it in writing, creating that goal statement is a huge thing. Even more importantly, tell someone else about your goal. But by the way, be careful about who you tell about your goal. You chose something meaningful, right? So you want to surround yourself with people who are going to support what's so important and meaningful to you. I.e., maybe you don't want to just post on Facebook, hey, I'm losing 20 pounds by June. That might not really be a good idea. You may want to instead consider messaging a few people who are close to you and saying, hey, I've got this goal, I'm doing it by June. Please hold me accountable. Ask me each week how I'm doing. And I'll, by the way, I'll check in with you on Fridays and tell you how I'm doing. So, tell some people that care about you, about your goal, and have them hold you accountable. And more importantly, as you pursue and jump into this goal, you need a plan of action. You need to take your goal and think to yourself, how in the world am I going to do this, right? If we use the old stereotype of losing weight, which we've touched on because it's familiar to all of us, right? We either know someone that wants to lose it or we're right there ourselves, like me. But we make an action plan. Very simple, seems kind of obvious, but you'd be surprised most people don't do it. Put a plan of action in place. What time am I going to get up to accomplish this goal? Am I going to get up at 6 o'clock before the day gets too crazy and go for a run, etc.? Am I going to read some books on investing if I want to invest my money more wisely, etc.? So make a plan of action. Think to yourself with that goal statement, it says I'm going to do this by June. Okay, what steps do I need to take in order to get where I want by the time that I've set out to do it in? And step 5, accept the process, because it's definitely not an event. It's not something that's just gonna boom, just you wake up and ta-da, I am 20 pounds lighter and I got $1 million in the bank. No, it does not work that way, except on Facebook, or maybe Instagram or something else. Success always looks like it's happened overnight, but it is always a process. There is no overnight millionaire, and there is no overnight success in any field of endeavor that's worth pursuing. So it's a process. It takes time. Dive into it and enjoy it, and take a few people with you. So let's unpack it with a few takeaways, and then I'm out of here. One key point, get as specific as possible with your goal and be sure you have a way to measure your success. If we set a goal that's going to happen by June, we need to make sure we have a way each day and each week and each month to look at what we're doing and say, yeah, I'm getting there. Or no, you know what, I need to adjust. That's a good thing, by the way, that we can share with those people we ask to hold us accountable so that they can help us measure that success and maybe even suggest ways that we can improve along the way. And more importantly, and this is the final point, the final takeaway is this. As you set your goals, as you map out where you want to go, make sure that you've set out with a realistic end in mind, something that you can really see yourself doing. In other words, if you've never, for example, this would be like if I said, I'm going to make $1 million this year in the next 12 months, but I've never even cleared $100,000 in a year. That's not a very realistic goal. I should probably start with something a little bit smaller, hit that goal, and then expand it from there. So something attainable, something realistic, and start there. And you'll find that the odds of getting that bigger goal become much, much higher. Note to self there. By the way, I've learned this the hard way also. So let's do this, right? This is my goal. A successful, profitable YouTube channel that helps people with their dreams, goals, ideas, etc. That's my goal. I want to share myself with the world. This is just one way that I have decided I'm going to jump in and do it. I've got a lot that's coming into my life right now, educationally and professionally, and the way I'm going to make it stick is to share it with you all, and hopefully you find it helpful. Until next time, I'm Johnpreneur Ellis, signing off. I'll see you on the blog and in the comments. Thanks.